Papa don't care about God no more. Nuck say, Tiff, we gonna keep EJ, and Tiff said, no the fuck not. Keep who? What kid? What's going on, y'all? It's your favorite TV movie guy. We're talking episode 2, season 8 of The Shot. This video will contain spoilers, so if you have not seen the episode, just save it and come back after you've watched it. You know, I didn't really like this episode. I said it before that this was a filler episode. Somebody could have kept this episode wherever they was keeping Big Mike. We didn't get any new information, but at the same time, we met 3 new characters. For whatever reason, the final season of this show, we are getting new characters. Does that mean a spinoff is coming or something? I don't know. It's already a crowded cast. It's already crowded storyline-wise, and they're just overcomplicating it. We start off where we left off last week. We see Jake and Reggie in their showdown, and Reggie knows that Jake isn't built like that. Jake is not a killer. He is just not. And he even takes it a step further and says, let's play a game. And also this shows that Jake really does care about Reggie. He just doesn't want Reggie in the house. But by being weak, Reggie takes advantage of that and says this is his house now. Next, we dive right into what happened with the Devontae and the hammer at school incident. And we see a counselor there. We see Emmett. We see Devontae and Keisha. And they're just going over all the things that Devontae is going to have to do to stay out of the system, stay out of trouble. He's pretty much going to have to be on a straight and narrow. And this is adding more stress to Emmett's life as he already has a house full of people. And we learned this episode, a special needs kid and EJ. So it's just a lot that they're adding on to Emmett and Keisha's workload. Then we get a scene. I'm starting to think Nuck is bipolar. We get a scene with just out of the blue, just aggression towards Bakari. We know it's been tension, but just last week, Nuck was holding it down with Bakari and same Bakari's number 2 no matter what. He's good. He's good. And now we're getting aggression and, oh, I'll kill you. That's what you think. Like, can this just be over already? I mean, but nonetheless, this scene happens and it's just building tension for what's inevitable. And we see Tiffany mother wants EJ. She tells Tiffany that Tiffany can't handle it. She doesn't even really care about EJ. I mean, things we've all been seeing and though the show's been showing us that Tiffany, when it comes to EJ, Tiffany has not been there. Even though as far back as season 1, she dropped him off at Emmett's house and that whole drama that went down between those two. It's been clear that Tiffany's mind has been on other things and being a mother just isn't in the forefront for her at this moment. Maybe the child with Rob, she can really get a do-over per se, but nonetheless, Tiffany mom wants EJ. And this storyline goes so much in reverse for Emmett's growth as a character. Emmett has been stepping up and being a parent and even taking care of little Ronnie and taking EJ back in. And now he has Devontae. So now when he's going out and he's learning how to be a better father and be a better man, you snatch him away. And then they have this meeting when Nuck is like, hey, we can take him. And Tiffany says, no, I don't want him. And then Keisha is agreeing with Tiffany's mom. But Keisha is the reason EJ is there. But nonetheless, Keisha doesn't put up a fight for EJ either because Devontae needs so much attention now that he's in trouble. See the lawyer meet up with Nora. And Nora confirmed Shaw's story that he was there with her the whole night. And she's willing to write a statement. And she even says that it was Rosalind Perry, Candy, that paid her off to change her story. Now, this didn't make sense to me on many levels because nobody would have looked at Rosalind for Alicia's death. We didn't even know where Rosalind came from the last season. She just popped up out of nowhere. We forgot all about Rosalind avenging Duda's death when she didn't even like Duda. They weren't even married except for on paper. Now, when the police wouldn't even been looking for her, wouldn't even have cared to even try to find her, didn't even have any shred of evidence to link her to it. She pays off a key person that has an alibi for Shad. She pays them off. Now her name will definitely be in the mix. Like I said, we get 3 new characters in this episode for no reason at all. I can care less about the guy. Then we meet Smitty, and then we have Smitty's baby mom, who happens to be the BO boys from last week's baby mom. And this is just a lot that I really don't care. And if all this was just to bring Big Mike back into the fold, this is just Fatima looking like she's struggling and maybe into a lifestyle that Vic wouldn't approve of, goes to visit Vic for whatever reason. And while Vic's fighting for his life, fighting to be proven innocent, he's asking about Fatima's dating life. And of course, somebody sees him visiting with Fatima and a group of guys approach Vic, and instead of them jumping him or poking him up, they give him a one-on-one with the guy and Vic beats on the guy. Let me see at the party, Papa don't care about God no more. And then the crazy thing is Papa was more upset about Pastor Zeke's death than his own dad. I mean, he wants to avenge Pastor Zeke's death, but he's not even looking out for who killed his dad, knowing Bakari knows and knowing it was Nuck. He's worried about Pastor Zeke. But right here, he's partying. He's having a good time. And I guess they're giving him more of a storyline this season, so I'm willing to be patient on Papa's storyline. Red forces his way into this party. We also meet a new girl named Desiree, who I'm guessing is going to be the love interest of Jake, because you know the Shot loves to pass women around from guy to guy. No women in the Shot can be single. They get passed around more than Nature Boy passed around Turi. What's up, Velvet? Girls start selling pills in the place, and Jake doesn't like that. They get into a fight. Reg get kicked out. Now we know this is going to add to more tension between Reg and Jake, and I'm guessing next week Reg will get some type of retaliation. Let me see the lawyer do the absolutely bare minimum of homicide detective / police work that should have been done. She, by chance, finds the footage of Vic in the hospital with Tiffany where he said he was at the time of the murder. Now, like I said, this is the bare minimum of what a police detective has to do. And instead of taking this to said police detective or said district attorney's office, who she pretty much would be familiar with, just like a judge would be familiar with another judge, prosecutors and defense attorneys normally hang out in the same social circles. So instead of doing that with somebody who can easily drop the charges on Shad and Vic, she goes to a cricket judge who was the friend of Alicia and asks her to talk to another judge to get this case thrown out instead of just talking to one of her friends. But nonetheless, we'll see next week if this long drawn out storyline finally comes to a close and Vic comes out. And then we see a guy, I guess his name was Smitty. Smitty tells Nuck that he needs some security, and they bring back Big Mike, who doesn't look big anymore, but we'll call him Big Mike. We bring back Big Mike, and Big Mike is upset with Reggie that Reggie came back to Chicago and didn't let him know. So now Big Mike Smitty is hooking back up with the 63rd Mob and going to work for Nuck. So again, another storyline now is Big Mike versus Reggie. We have Jake versus Reggie. Pretty soon we'll have Vic versus Reggie. And then we can't forget that the original reason for bringing Reggie back was Nuck versus Reggie. Oh, and the police officer who they had a storyline last year where Nuck was feeding her information through Hannibal, I guess she's still versus Reggie. But we'll see. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments. This episode was just a mid episode, a filler episode that we really didn't need. They could have did anything they tried to do to show us new characters. They could have mixed that in like they did on episode 1 with Old Boy. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about it.